Good morning and welcome to today's Smart Business Strategies podcast. I am Anna Wilds, the franchise economist, and I have a special guest today, David Luke with Pink Zebra Moving. David is the Chief Development Officer. And David, thank you for being here.
Glad to be here.
I'm
Thank you for having
glad I'm glad you're here because this is a disruptor in the moving industry. David, start us off and share with the audience a little bit about you and what Pink Zebra Moving does.
Sure. Of course, I do the development for Pink Zebra Moving. Before that, I've been in franchising for about 25 years. I know I'm only look 20, 21 years old.
That's
Anyway,
right.
but 10 years, I actually planted churches for the Methodist Church. And along that line, I figured out I could plant maid services. We did that. We did two maids and a mop. I met my business partner during that time, and he said, I've got a maid service. Do you want to help me franchise it? And that's what we did. We grew that to the fastest growing maid service in America. During that time, we were researching the next concept that was going to be pink. And we landed on moving. And we landed on moving about 3 years ago. And so that's what we've been involved with and making Pink Zebra Moving the fastest growing moving company in America.
And David, it's a fascinating story, just like Two Maids and a Mop, the franchise that you and co-founder Ron Holt brought to America.
Right.
And what is it, other than the name and the branding, what is it about Pink Zebra Moving that makes it so unique and different than all the other moving services that there are?
Moving companies as a franchise have existed since 1985. There has been zero to little innovation in the moving space. Do you know why? There hadn't had to be. Moving companies, even bad moving companies, make money 6 months out of the year. So that made sense to us. We knew there was a needed demand for a space, and yet there hadn't been innovation. We came in and said, we want to make this thing fun. Moving is one of the
Fun.
most fun things. That's right. We want to make it fun.
That's usually antithetical to moving.
That's right.
I personally have never had a pleasant moving experience, David, and I bet everyone in the audience listening can relate to that as well. So do tell how you differentiate yourselves.
Sure. As I was saying, the two things that are the most stressful in our lives as humans is divorce and moving. Those are the two most stressful events. And for us, we can deal with one of those. We can deal with moving. So we understand that that's a stressful experience. Usually it's a very, dreaded experience that people have to go through. It's not fun, but we want to change that. So we came to the market to say, you know what? We understand what you're going through. We want to make that fun. We want to do things different than other moving companies. We want to be proactive with our customer service, not reactive. We know stuff's going to happen during the move, but we want to be proactive to make it a fun experience throughout the move, before and after the move.
All right. So share with the audience some of the specifics that I know, like how can you make moving fun?
You got it. So with that, we're going to get to know this customer as we build that relationship before that move. We're going to get to know them. We're going to get to know the kids, the dogs, everybody in their family unit, basically. And we're going to do surprise boxes to them. We're going to take them out to a dinner the night before the move. We're going to have a surprise box with some of the goodies that, if they're Arizona State fans, we're going to have Arizona State stuff in there. If they're moving to a new home, we're going to have a picture of this new home. We're going to do things automatically in our proactive approach to moving to make it fun, to make it less stressful. So when that surprise box comes at the end of the move and they've got toilet paper or they've got goodies that they didn't realize they were going to have, they're like, man, they thought ahead of making this an enjoyable experience for us. So, we don't just move boxes, we move families, and we take that seriously.
What I really love about all that is the surprise free dinner
That's right.
the night before the move, because everything's packed. Your refrigerator's empty, your pots and pans, your dish, everything is packed or should be packed. And it's just very stressful. And so it's an experience. It's
That's
experiential. Right. You're focusing on the family, not just their things.
That's
fantastic. Right. And now, David, so many people, I've been a franchise advisor for 20 years now, And so many people look at the role of the owner and they confuse it with that of an employee. They don't see themselves as the business owner. They see themselves as an employee. Well, they're usually coming from the corporate world, so they're used, they've got that mindset. So explain to the audience, what is the role of the owner? What is the owner doing? Who is he or she interacting with? And, what do they do on a daily basis?
So first off, they're not moving boxes. Secondly, they're not driving trucks. That's not what we're looking for. Do they have experience in moving? No, none of our owners do. That's not really what we're looking for either. However, what we see the owner doing is being a relationship builder. That's what they're good at. That's what a successful owner in Pink Zebra does. There are four areas where they do that: apartment complexes, storage units, senior living communities, and realtors. You build those four connections with any owner in our world, you're going to have recurring revenue. Most people don't think of moving that way, but building those relationships is critical to a successful moving company anywhere in America. So when that owner goes out and builds those relationships, lets them know what we're doing, lets them know how different we are, that's when the business booms. So that's a successful owner in our world. Moving experience, not needed. Weightlifting training, don't need it. Not what we're looking for.
And David, share with the audience. So you have basically two business models. One is the owner operator, which is a full-time commitment. And then there's something that in the franchise industry, people call it semi-absentee. Some people call it semi-involved, part-time, manage the manager. It goes by lots of different names. But speak to that in the Pink Zebra opportunity.
So yeah, we do have both. Now, your movers are your base of employees. Then you have two roles in that office. You're going to have a general manager that oversees the operations, anything that pops up during the day. Then you're going to have a sales manager, the one that is out there doing it. Usually the owner takes one of those two roles if they are involved in the business. So one of those roles is going to be a full-time role if they choose to take it. If they do not, and they want to be a semi-absentee owner, those two roles have to be staffed. You're still going to have somebody driving sales. If it's not you, the owner, it's going to be somebody you hire. Then you're going to have somebody being that general manager that deals with the truck, deals with a customer. Every day there's going to be something that comes up that general manager has to deal with. So if the owner is semi-absentee, all we're saying is you are going to have a higher investment level with this opportunity if you're going to take the semi-absentee route. And we're clear with that. Just budget a little more if you're going to be that route. And so we kind of go through, this is what's expected on this route. This is what's expected on this route.
David, share with the audience some examples of people who have become successful franchisees of yours, and just kind of illustrate that really nobody comes from, being able to move a box or a couch is not what makes you successful as a business owner with Pink Zebra. So share some examples.
So an owner in Oklahoma City, Justin Givens, great guy. He's an attorney, owns his own practice there, but also owns Pink Zebra Moving in that market. So he is a semi-absentee owner, has the business, but also still has a job in the 9-to-5 world. We have another in
Wilmington. You said he's doing phenomenal. Is that right?
Yeah, part of the process will be to talk to all these owners. We want you to talk to them, see how it's going, find out more from them. We want to be as transparent as possible to say, find out from these guys what kind of revenues, what kind of results. Now, another owner, interesting guy, is in Cincinnati. He was the former punter for the Cincinnati Bengals. His name is Chrisman. He actually, has a lot of information on his Instagram page and on his socials. So, check out him, see what he's doing. Now, he is involved. He is an owner that is very involved in the business, and you'll actually see that from some of his material he's put out there. Then we've got corporate refugees like Michelle in New Jersey that have just tired of corporate America, done with that world. I want to own my day. I want to own the results. I want to do this for myself. And you'll hear from her too. So there's a lot of different aspects of different owners in our world, and yet none of them come from a moving background.
And you also said that you're getting some younger folks who never really wanted to go into the corporate world. Is that right?
That is kind of a different thing with us. I think it may be either because we're a young concept, fresh concept in an industry. We are attracting a lot of early adopters at this stage. I would say right now it's this 25 to 35-year-old male, female, doesn't matter, owners that are doing this almost as their first career. So that's been very different for us. We probably were not expecting that. And yet that's what we're seeing. Avery up in Grand Rapids, under 30, Drew under 30 in Cincinnati, Shayna in, in Grand Rapids, sorry, Avery's in Detroit. Brent in Indianapolis, another, 27-year-old. So we're getting these young people that are starting out. Haas in Sugar Land, Texas, 27 as well. Family was entrepreneurs. Now he wants to become an entrepreneur himself. So it is funny that's kind of, we didn't set out to do that. And yet that's what we're attracting. So it's created this new energy in a brand that I'm super pumped about.
So what I'm hearing is the background is not important. What's important is your focus on people and being able to build relationships and getting out in your community and nurturing those relationships.
That's right.
With the referral sources that you identified.
That's right.
All right. Well, we might have just answered my next question. So, David, this podcast is called Smart Business Strategies. What is a smart business strategy that Pink Zebra Moving uses that you'd like to share with the audience?
Be different. That's the strategy. Be different. But I can tell you this: it is the number one strategy of any successful business that I've ever seen, heard, read, anything. Hustle. It's not synonymous with just Pink Zebra, but it is synonymous with people who are successful in whatever they choose, whether it's moving, whether it's, whatever they choose.
Cleaning, whatever it is.
No matter. Hustle is the number one driver of success for any business owner. And with Pink Zebra, you're able to hustle. No doubt. You've still got to have that, but you're able to do it, hopefully in a fun environment that makes it fun for both you, your customers, and your employees. And
speak to the you and I had talked about, nobody grows up saying, ooh, I want to own a moving company. But your response to that is you can have pride on the front end, like have the sexy new restaurant or whatever, or you can have pride on the back end when you go into the bank with all the money you're making.
So, right? We're not making any earnings claims here, but moving companies have to make money on the back end. They have to be profitable because there's not pride on the front end of owning it. So when you look on the front end of some things, gyms, bars, restaurants, very sexy, very nice spaces, very nice people, you're dealing with the front end of customers. And so it's a nice, sexy experience. Those are much higher tickets, much higher startup cost, much higher overhead.
And thinner profit margins.
Much thinner. So when it comes to unsexy things, like maid service, like moving, like pest control, like whatever, in those, the pride has to come on the back end because nobody gets, oh, look, I own that truck right there. Who cares? I don't want to tell anybody a moving company. I may have to move them, So there's not really pride in that. There's pride, and it should be on the back end. We need our owners to be two things: profitable and happy. And our role is to see that through. Our role is to help every single franchise owner achieve profitability and be happy with what they're doing. So ultimately, that's where our pride has to come in. Our pride is in successful franchise owners who are profitable and happy.
David, if anyone wants to learn more about Pink Zebra Moving, what do you suggest they do?
Well, they need to call you. They need to get in touch with you and hear the inside track, get some more scoop on Pink Zebra Moving, and find out how great of an option it is.
And I'll help them figure out if they're really the right fit.
That's right.
For Pink Zebra. All right. Thank you, David. And we are out of time. Thank you so much for being here, audience. This is David Luke with Pink Zebra Moving. Thank you, David.
Thank you so much for having me, Anna.
Absolutely. And audience, thank you for being here. Come back next week. Well, actually, before I do my sign off, I want to say that I'm just going to emphasize that Pink Zebra could be the next career move. See what I did there for you?
That's right.
All right. So come back next week, 11:30 Wednesday, I've got another great franchise to tell you about. Steady Eddie is what I call it. Not sexy, but if you're looking for pride on the back end, you're going to want to tune in to this home services lifestyle business. See you next Wednesday at 11:30. Make it a priority to be there. You're not going to want to miss it. I'm Anna Wilds, the franchise economist. So long.